everyone, and welcome back to Board Together Games. My name is David.
I'm Ryan.
And today we're going to be doing a review for a lovely game called Azul. And of course, Azul means blue
in Portuguese, Spanish?
Some other language. Azul. Azul means blue in Portuguese and Spanish and possibly some other languages. So Azul is a 2 to 4 player game designed by Michael Kiesling, who has quite the track record. He is a great history and catalog of games that he has designed in the past. In this game, you are tile laying artisans or tile artists building up the walls of this beautiful palace in Portugal. That is kind of the theme of the game, but the game's lovely, and we're going to tell you right now how to play. To set up for Azul, you give every player one of these excellent cardboard player boards, and then you will set a number of factory display tiles out in the center of the table, dependent on the number of players. And then you will draw randomly 4 of the tiles for each factory display randomly from this bag and place them on the displays. You will choose a start player, as the rule book says, dependent on the person who has last been to Portugal. That's probably never going to happen, or very rarely going to happen. So choose a start player randomly, and then you can begin. In Azul, players are going to take turns drafting tiles from the center of the board and placing them in their display. On your turn, you will draft tiles from the board, either from one of the factory displays or from the center of the table. When you draft tiles, you will be taking all of a single color from whatever area of the board you are taking tiles. So if I take tiles from one of the factory displays and there happens to be 3 reds there and 1 of another color and I want the reds, I must take all 3. Any remainder, if you take tiles from a factory display, will be moved to the center of the table, and that will happen anytime a player takes tiles from a factory display. Whatever they don't take moves to the center of the table. You will then take the tiles that you did draft, bring them over to your player board, and you will place them in a single row of the 5 available rows on your player board. Once you have chosen to put a particular color in a row, you can only put that color in the row until it is completed. If you have more tiles than are needed to complete a row, the remainder will go into what is called your floor row, or your floor area, I think they call it, down here at the bottom of the board, and those will count as negative points for you at the end of the round. It's also interesting to note that once you complete any given row with a particular color, you can no longer put that same color back into that row. So players will draft tiles in clockwise player order around the table, taking tiles from a factory display or from the center of the board. The first person to take tiles from the center of the table after a number of tiles have been pushed in that direction is going to take, again, using the same rule, all of a single colored tile, and then they're also going to have to take this first player tile. The first player tile is going to go down here in the lower left-hand corner of your player board in your floor row, or your floor area, and the rest of the tiles will simply go into one of the rows as previously described. Play will continue like this around the table until all of the tiles for that round have been taken, have been drafted, and put into player boards. Once that's done, you move on to scoring. So once all the tiles have been drafted, players are going to score by taking the rightmost tile from any row of tiles that they have completed on the left-hand side of their player board and moving it over to the right-hand side. You're going to score points based on orthogonal adjacency. I know those big words, but for the tile that you place, you're going to score a point. And then you're going to also score points for any other tiles that are north, south, east, west adjacent to that tile. So for example, if I place a tile that has another tile east-west adjacent to it, I will score 2 points for the row. And if there is also a tile adjacent to it north-south, I will also score 2 points there for a total of 4. Any extra tiles from that completed row will get discarded and put back into the bag to be drafted for the next round. Once everybody has scored their player boards, you do exactly that. Whoever had taken the tiles from the center area of the board first in the previous round is going to be the first player to draft tiles in the next round, and off you go.
Players are going to keep playing round after round until the end game is triggered, and that happens when someone completes a full row of any...
Yeah, any of their 5 rows.
Yeah.
Once it's completely filled up, that triggers the end game.
And there's also end game scoring. So you get 2 points for every row, and you can get multiple rows. You also score 7 points for every column, and then 10 points for every color that you cannot place any more of. Whoever has the most points is the winner, and that's how you play Azul.
So what did you think of this game, Ryan?
I liked it. It's not my first choice. It's not my favorite game, is what I'm pretty much saying. I would play it again.
And again.
And again.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. I feel like there's a lot of really excellent mechanisms in this game. There is some unique stuff. It doesn't feel groundbreaking, though. It doesn't feel like anything new and fancy, but it's fun. It is light.
It definitely is.
Pretty simple to learn, pretty simple to teach. I would say probably as young as 7 or 8.
Yeah, I would say that would be a good age.
Yeah, I don't think that kids that young would necessarily be able to wrap their heads around the strategy, but as far as the gameplay mechanisms, no issues at all. I think really young kids could pick up with this, and they would have fun doing it too. I think as far as what you're doing in this game, I think that would be a fun activity for the younger kids as well. So, as far as all that goes, I think this game is very streamlined. It's just really good. It's just good. I feel like this could be, I don't know if it's eligible, but I feel like this could be a contender for German Game of the Year. What about components? What do you think?
I think the quality is very nice.
Yeah, I would agree. Artwork?
I like the artwork. Although some don't have them on it, but a lot of them,
Oh, the designs you mean?
Yeah.
They didn't print designs on everything because the ones that they did print designs on have it on both sides.
Yeah, I like that.
Which is great. So when you're placing these things out, I know it's a small thing, but when you're drafting these and placing them out on the table for everybody to look at, you don't have to worry about which side is facing up. It's just there. You automatically, no matter which side they flip to, it's right. It's a little thing, but that's the design details that I think are a big deal in this game. And it goes back to the whole production. I think this is one of those productions. Every once in a while, I'll buy a game where I feel like I spend a lot of money and I don't feel like I got what I paid for. This game is kind of the opposite. I spent a certain amount for this game and I got more than what I felt like I paid for. And that's refreshing. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. And this is certainly one of those games. It's beautiful to look at. It's fun. It's kind of mean.
It can be.
It can be mean, right? It doesn't have to be. And with the people we normally play with, it's typically not going to be mean. If it is mean, it's unintentionally mean because again, you're all drafting from the same pool of tiles every round.
Yeah.
And sometimes people are just going to take the stuff that you're looking for, and it's going to feel like they're doing it on purpose, even though they may not be. They might be, but they may not be. So all in all, I think it's a wonderful production, an excellent design. You're going to find a lot of reviewers out there talking about this game, and everything that you're going to see, I believe, is going to be positive. So how can that be bad, right?
It can't.
We're gonna rate this game now, and we say it all the time in our videos that these ratings are truly our opinion, and honestly, you should be looking at the game itself, how it plays, how it looks, and just decide if you think this is something that you and your family or your friends or your church group or whoever will like. If that's the case, go out and buy it. Go pick it up. Try it for yourself. And this one is a bargain, so there's no excuses there. So having said that, though, I'm going to give this an 8. And I went back and forth between 7.5 and 8, but I landed at 8. And honestly, I think depending on how my future plays of this game go, it could even maybe go up a little bit. An 8 is an excellent score. It really is. It's a really good game. What do you think?
I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Oh, okay. A little higher even.
It's not anything new, but it's just fun to play.
That's what's weird, though, is I feel like it is new, but it doesn't feel new. That, you know what I mean? Because I've never played another game with this same type of mechanism. This I've kind of done before, where you're actually placing the tiles. But the drafting part and filling up these rows, that seems pretty new to me.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like it. It feels like something that's just been around forever. And maybe that's just it. Maybe this is just going to be one of those new classics, right?
It might be.
It could be. It's very good. And as far as family friendliness, we're going to give this, I think, a perfect 10. I tried to figure out a way where I could take something away from it. But honestly, it plays young enough kids. It's simple to teach, simple to learn, absolutely beautiful to look at, great production. So there you go. For family friendliness, a 10 out of 10. And that's going to wrap it up, everybody, for Azul, which is an excellent game that we highly recommend. And if you like what you see, if you like what we are doing here at Board Together Games, do us a favor, click on that like button, subscribe to the channel if you so choose, click on the little bell to be notified whenever we release new content, new reviews for you to take a look at, and you'll be the first to know about that. We also have a lot of social media out there that we're working on, which is Facebook and Twitter, and we have a website. All of those links should be on the screen. Information should be on the screen. Links will be in the description. A couple other links in the description for some things that you might find interesting, so check those out as well. And as always, you guys, we thank you so much for watching. And if you are bored together, we will see you next time. 2 hours later. That's squeaky. And I have to... So Ryan, what did you think of blue in Portuguese? So that's gonna wrap it up for blue.
I was gonna say blue in Portuguese after this, but...